Assalamu alaikum all. Today I am going to be talking about why I have a separate bank account as a Muslim. Now I used to have just one account that used to do everything. So all my salary would go in there, all my automated payments would come out of it, any sort of direct debit. So these like in the UK, if I'm paying for like utilities like the internet, mortgage, any other sort of mobile phone bills or anything like that would just sort of come out of this one main account. However, it became very tricky to keep an eye on things because like just in terms of my regular spending and seeing where money's going and things like that. Or also I used to have credit cards before, which I've kind of stopped using. And what I found that really was a game changer for me was just to have a separate account just to handle all of my spending. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about why I did that and why it's been so amazing and how easy it is to do. So, welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. Now, just a quick disclaimer, everything I say here is not financial advice, it's purely for information and entertainment purposes. Okay, so let's get into it. What do I mean by having a separate bank account? So literally, as I said earlier, I've got one main account where basically everything happens. So my salary goes into that, or my payments to bills and things like that happen, any sort of automated savings or investments come out of that. But however, what I did was I created a separate bank account is just to handle all my everyday spending. So that's things like groceries, buying petrol, buying something online from Amazon. Like we went recently on holiday to France, so to find a few bits and pieces. Like in France, they're quite strict with all the kind of laws when you're driving there, so you need to buy high-vis jackets and things like that, just like all bits and pieces that just pop up like that. And then what I do is that I then transfer money into this account sort of whenever I need it. Like I put a few £100 in there and then I kind of will spend out of that one card. Now this is my main sort of spending account and everything kind of happens into that. And then what then happens is I will spend on that card and I will let the spending account kind of go pretty much all the way down to zero. So I can kind of sort of feel the money that I'm spending. And it's a really good way for me to kind of track my spending habits, because by me seeing the money actually go to zero, I actually know, oh, hang on, I'm spending some money here. And, you know, I used to have maybe say £500 in that account and now it's gone down to zero. Now in my main account, that will never happen because I always try to keep a little bit of extra money in there just in case there's an unexpected direct debit payment or something that comes out of there. So it's very important, you know, that I can see my spending where it's going. And by having this separate account, because it actually goes down to zero, it's a really good way to keep track of spending. And what I know is that if I'm putting more money into this account throughout the month, so if I'm finding that I'm putting more money in regularly, then I know something's not right. That means that I'm spending too much. So for example, if I had £500 in there and then in 2 days later that £500 is gone and it's on zero, well, hang on, what the heck happened in those couple of days? So things like these sort of observations are really easy to track when you have like a separate banking, you know, account to do all your spending from, or some people would just call it as like a spending card as well, because you're kind of using a specific card to do that. And another thing is that when you're not using cash, when you're using cash, you can kind of sort of feel the money a bit more. It's very harder to feel the money when you're using like a credit card or a debit card. Psychologically, you're not kind of aware of what's going on. It's a similar concept they kind of use in casinos and places like that, where you know that you don't use cash and stuff in casinos. You have to buy chips, and those chips represent the cash, and then you use chips to do in casinos. And I think part of the reason for that is a psychological thing. You're not as aware of what's happening, where your money's going. I know I'm a Muslim, so you know I don't gamble, but I'm just kind of just show you why they use certain techniques in casinos and how that can almost kind of apply in a certain way when you're using like a credit card or a debit card. And another thing is that when you do have a separate card, it's really easy to keep track of your spending, as I mentioned, because you don't have everything just coming out of one place and loads of different things going on. It's just very clean and clear and simple. Look, I've put this much money in and this much money is how much I'm spending. Now, when I did set up a separate bank account, I went with one of the, what we call in the UK, like a challenger bank. So these are kind of these newer startup sort of bank accounts. And in the UK, two of the most sort of famous ones are, I'd probably say, Monzo and Starling. And they're really easy to set up a bank account. Like literally doesn't take, you know, much time at all. I just kind of went online, did a few bits and pieces. I think I had to do an online photo of my driving license or something like that. And it's super easy to set up. So, you know, don't let that put you off for setting it up. They've also got really great apps as well. The apps are really nice and organized, and they categorize your money really easily. Now, another thing is like with Monzo, I know in particular, like they do not give you any interest on your account. So as Muslims, we want to avoid interest. So, once you've set it up, you're not paying any kind of interest, and you've kind of got this account set up and ready to go. And yeah, I just transfer money into it using the app, the Monzo app. It's very easy, just connect it to my main account, and then I just kind of add money into it. So super easy to do. And another thing, I just want to highlight, which I've kind of mentioned already before, is that, I don't like credit cards. And this is something I kind of follow from kind of Dave Ramsey as well. I used to use a credit card before because it's still on points and things like that. But it became so tricky just to keep an eye on where my money was going, because what happens is you spend it on the credit card, they don't actually give you a statement or bill you for it like a month later almost, and then you don't actually pay that money till like a month later after that, in some cases. So it was just crazy. Really didn't like that. Another thing is, if you're married as well, having a joint card, having a spending account is really good. Like me and my wife, we have like a joint account set up, and we use that as our spending account. So my wife or me, we both kind of use that one account and can both keep an eye on where the money is going, how much money we're spending. And it's really good, like just having it like that. I know I said earlier that having cash is a really easy way to kind of feel the money that you're spending. But what I really like about using something like Monzo is that it kind of categorizes all your money for you. So it's really good just to kind of see what's happening month on month, where your money's going and where you're kind of spending it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. And yeah, if you've liked it, please smash that like button, and hope to see you next time. Bye.